Hi everybody and welcome back to my backyard once again. Today we're gonna finally check out the Hover Air X1 Pro Max. This is what I think the best iteration I've seen so far of a selfie drone, and I have tried them all. And this one especially, I had it since October, so I have been flying with it for months. So I have seen this drone basically being born since the Indiegogo campaign and then gradually growing, getting updates and getting refined. And the reason why I waited so long to make a review is because I had a pre-release beacon. This device is optional, but it has a ton of functionality. It was working when I got it, but when I tried updating it back in October, it bricked and it was not connecting to the drone anymore. So I contacted Hover and they said they were out of stock on this one. They were working on fixing them. It took a while, but finally I got a working beacon. So today I can show you a very comprehensive review on this drone with all of its accessories. And before I show you what this drone can do, let's go back in time and check out what's in the box. Super premium looking box, magnetized open, and boom, you're presented with the carrying pouch with the drone inside. This is the pouch. 65 watts charging adapter, fast dual battery charging hub, and this is the star of the show, the drone itself. Let's take a look at the accessories. This is the joystick and beacon bundle, and boom, there is a ton of stuff inside. Charging magnetic pad, cables to connect the controller to your phone, either USB-C or Lightning. You have two options of joystick, a flat one or a spiked one. This is the beacon right here, and this thing gets assembled like a freaking transformer. Look at this. Boom, boom, it attaches, then you do this, and it becomes a joystick. And in the carrying pouch, I found three different accessories. ND filters for the drone, super well made with a cleaning cloth, bike handlebar mount with a GoPro style swiveling adapter, and a super stretchy rubberized strap to put around something. These two accessories are for the beacon. One has a clamp on the back, the other has a tripod mount, or you can have the GoPro style adapter. And the beacon slots in magnetically and clamps. And finally, it's time to talk about specs. I'm gonna start by showing you the design of everything because I feel like they went the extra mile. Not only the transformer looking radio, this is the power case. It doesn't only protect your drone with the hard shell, but also it opens like a cassette player and it keeps your drone charged up with a 12,000 milliamps battery inside. And if you go in a cold place, it also keeps your drone battery warm so you have maximum performance. And just look at the attention to detail. You have magnetic strap mounts right here. The USB-C port is for input charge, but also it doubles as a power bank. Pressing this button, you can check the battery level of the power case, but also you have a screen to check out the drone inside. To use this accessory, you need to put this USB-C adapter on the drone itself and you have the contacts for the charging. They know you're gonna lose it, so they give you a spare one on this side, and also on the top you have an aluminum tool for removal. And even this classic looking pouch has its surprises. You have space for the drone and for the accessories with the controller, but actually you can open it like this and boom, you have attachment points to put it on a bicycle. And finally, it's time to talk about the drone. This is the Pro Max version, but they also have a more regular Pro version that has the same build, it just has less processing power. I'm gonna talk about it later. Both of these drones are gonna be super small when folded. These are the dimensions folded and unfolded, and they weigh 195 grams, so it's also super light. The propellers are completely enclosed, super safe, you can grab it mid-air, no problem. The material is quite durable. They call it HEM, hyper-elastic material, and I have to say, I have used it for months, I have crashed it quite a lot of times, and it's only a little bit scuffed, but it still works perfectly. If you break the propellers or the bottom grill, they sell replacement kits DIY. And if you're scared of breaking something else, for example the camera, if you are lucky, it can happen. They also have a hover care, which is an added insurance. This is the interchangeable battery 2S 1920 milliamps, and one of these will give you around 16 minutes of flight time. At the back of the drone there are two sensors, a proximity one on the bottom and a wide angle camera on the top. When the drone is flying backwards and it detects an obstacle, it will stop. This only happens if you're going quite slow, like below 10 kilometers per hour. They are improving it over time. I hope soon they will add real obstacle avoidance where the drone scuttles on the side using the top camera. But already this is better than every other selfie drone I have seen out there that don't have any sensor on the back. At the bottom you have a fan, a speaker, and the time of flight sensor with the altitude one. On the right side there is nothing, and on the left one you have the USB port for charging and data transfer, and a micro SD card slot up to 1 terabyte cards. You need to put very fast cards in this 8K model unless you want to see stuttering on your footage. The Pro Max has 64 gigabytes internal storage, the Pro only 32. On the top you have a little screen and control buttons to change modes. Ski mode. and also change settings inside the mode if you long press. And on the front you have a status light and the camera itself, which is on a 2-axis gimbal. The lens is an equivalent f16, aperture is 2.5, and the sensor is a 48 megapixel 1/1.3 inch size. This is very big and similar to the one in the DJI Mini 4 Pro. The Pro Max can shoot in 8K 30 FPS or 4K 120. The Pro version can only do 4K 60 or 180p 120. There are 3 ways to control this drone. The first one is standalone. You only need the drone, press the button, the drone does its thing and comes back. The second way is the phone app. You have access to more settings, you have a live preview of what's happening, and you also have manual control with sticks on the screen. And the third way is with the optional beacon accessory. This thing will be kind of similar to the phone. It still has a microphone, you still have a screen for live preview, but it's kind of faster, quicker, and it also has an integrated GPS, so the drone always knows where you are, and even if it loses visual track of you, it still can come back to the beacon and regain tracking. And finally, it's time to fly. I have connected my phone so I can show you all of the settings and the 12 different fly modes. The first flight mode is gonna be the hover. You have target tracking on or off. In hover mode, the drone stays still, and it can be either stay super still or track you and rotate. And we have a ton of camera settings, so you can select normal video, HDR, slow motion, or hover cine, which is log. You can select vertical shooting if you want some digital zoom, frame rate and resolution, video encoding, and you can even add a color filter to your footage. Press the button, you cannot take off from your phone. It's gonna track your face, take off, and now we have it on track. So if I turn, the drone is gonna follow me. The next mode is the zoom out. The drone is gonna go away and come back. You can select how far to go, if it has to rise, keep a level, or go lower. Again, you can track the target, so if you move, the drone is gonna turn, and activate the rear obstacle collision. Let's go. And again, you can talk to your phone and it's gonna record audio and come back. I'm gonna switch to the beacon very soon so you can hear the sound difference between a proper microphone and the beacon one. And the drone is super precise, it always comes exactly where it came from. The next mode has just been introduced because they have been updating and adding features during these months. This is the dolly zoom. In this mode, the drone goes away, but it zooms in while it goes away and it creates a super cool vertigo effect. You can set the initial position, so either the drone is very close to you and is half body or full body at 2 meters. And also how much the drone has to zoom. After that, we have the orbit mode. The drone is gonna spin in a circle around you, and you can select how far you want the radius of the circle to be, how many rotations to do, the altitude of your shot, either flat, higher or lower. Again, you can track or not track yourself, and even the direction of the orbit. The next mode is the bird eye. The drone is gonna do a top-down shot of yourself. You can select the rotation speed, so the drone can go straight up or starting to rotate while going up, so you have a more spinny effect. You can select the altitude, shooting mode, photos, videos, or photos and videos together. Video segments, turned off, the drone goes high and comes back and it does one single video. With video segments on, the drone does a video going up, stops and records another video coming down. Duration overhead is how much time the drone spends in the highest point of its trajectory. Shooting angle, you can decide if the drone has to be top down or look forward. The next setting is follow. The drone is gonna work like a GTA camera third-person view. You can choose the duration, the distance between close, mid or far, so you have your whole body showing in the picture. Again, the altitude, if the drone is flat, lower or higher. I'm gonna go through the bushes and stuff. I'm gonna maybe even start running. It should be very, very good. It doesn't have obstacle avoidance, so I hope it doesn't crash. But it looks like it's very precise. Yeah. And it's very hard to lose it. It really sticks. Oh my God. Oh. And this is the normal follow mode. You even have more advanced ones. The next mode is the side track. The drone is gonna get a nice side shot of yourself. It uses the same settings as the follow mode. Then we have the dolly track. It's very similar to the other follow modes, but it's gonna follow you from the front, so you can talk directly to the drone. After that, we have the ski mode. and I cannot show you here how it works, but basically it has settings to slow down the turning sensitivity, because when you ski you kind of go this motion and the drone will always be turning and it will give you sickness watching the video. So it slows down the motion and it kind of keeps it a little bit straighter and smoother, but it says you have higher chance of losing the subject. So if you go ski, probably it's better to use the beacon to really have a good track on yourself. And then we have the cycling mode. This is more optimized for bikes, of course, and it's just like the follow mode, but you can select if you are in an open area where the drone can turn a little bit smoothly, or in narrow routes with maybe trees on the sides. So if you take a corner, the drone is not gonna cut the corner to make the video smooth, it's gonna just follow you around the corner and it doesn't crash into obstacles. And the last automated mode is the indoor follow. This is optimized to following you indoors or in tight spaces, and again the drone is not gonna cut the corners. You see, the drone is not cutting the corner even if I go through like this, and it's very, very good for indoors. It's following my path precisely so it doesn't crash into obstacles. It's super, super clever actually. You see? Ah, it lost me, but it got me back. Very nice. And before I show you the manual mode, let's check out the global options. You have the ND filter optimization. You can record sound with your phone microphone. You need to keep the app open and talk to it, but it's very nice because you have noise cancellation. You can add or remove the hover watermark in your shot. I'm gonna remove it. Image optimization is the exposure priority. It's either gonna give priority to your face or to the environment. Then you have your usual firmware update, storage management, where you can see how full the memory is and format stuff. Voice setting is the volume your hover speaks at. You can either make it completely silent or have a very, very loud voice. And the last settings are calibration, language, and unit of length. You can access your drone album, and it's got Wi-Fi 6, so the transfer speed are gonna be very, very fast. And now, as you can see, it's connecting via Wi-Fi, so it takes 10 seconds. And you can preview all the videos we recorded today, and you can even export them, and it's gonna here stitch the audio of your phone to the video of the drone. The smart preview button at the bottom allows you to see yourself and to get a preview of the image you are recording. In the flight mode settings, you have the tutorials for all of the flight modes, so you can really understand how they work. Also in the hover settings, you can change the flight modes and remove the ones you are not using. For example, I'm not skiing, so I'm gonna remove the ski mode. And you can even reorganize them so you have priority when you turn on your drone. This is super, super customizable. And it's time to check out the manual control with your phone. You always have to press the drone button to take off. You cannot take off from the phone. So press the button. Okay, the home point has been updated. You have GPS on this drone, so it knows where it's at. And you can use the phone touchscreen to fly. Now, the image transmission is not incredibly smooth, but is the problem of using Wi-Fi. You can rotate the camera. It's not too bad if you have to just take a quick shot of something and you want to position the drone very nicely. You can record, and in the settings up here you can change the speed of the drone and select if you want the control to be towards you or towards outside. I'm gonna up the horizontal and vertical speed so it becomes super, super fast. And this drone can go quite fast for its size. And now let's check out the beacon. Let's turn on the drone and the beacon together so I can show you how quick the connection is on these two. At the beginning, when it came out, it was a little bit slow, but now it's super, super quick. It's already on and it's connecting. Boom, first connect via Bluetooth and then it activates the Wi-Fi connection. And it's all automatic. Boom, and you have a live preview of what your drone is seeing. The screen is OLED. If you swipe from the top, you have the beacon settings and you can find your hover if you lose it. Swipe up to go back into the main preview menu. If you click here, you have access to all of the modes you saw before. If you swipe up from the bottom, you have access to the flight settings of the specific mode you have selected and to the camera settings, just like on the phone. At the top of the beacon, you have icons. The first one is the microphone on or off of the beacon. The second one is the beacon GPS. The third is if it's linked to your drone. The fourth one is the omni-terrain mode on your hover. Basically, if it has GPS or not. When you have GPS, you can fly over water, over reflective surfaces. The signal bars are the link quality, and then you have the drone battery percentage and the beacon battery percentage. It's recording, and now we have the beacon microphone working. The buttons don't do anything. The only thing you can do is stop recording pressing this button. And the other button that works is the return to home. If you press it quickly, it switches to manual control. For example, the drone is going against something, you can activate it to control it. Using the arrows, you can control where the drone is going. So maybe it's going against a tree, you can dislodge it, you see? And you have these two options. If you long press this one, the drone is gonna land where it's at, and if you long press this other one, the drone is gonna come back to the beacon with the beacon GPS. Super nice, maybe you are skiing, you see? And it came back to me. If you connect the bottom accessory, it enters manual control, and you can use it like a motion controller. To move the drone, you have to press this trigger at the back. I mean, it's fun, maybe it's a little bit gimmicky, but I like that they introduced this feature. It can be nice for someone that doesn't have the skills to fly with a regular controller. And lastly, if you connect the top part and you do this, it becomes a real drone controller. And you even have a slider on top to tilt your gimbal. And it goes quite fast. It works fine, but in my opinion, it needs a little bit of refinement yet. They are keeping the updates coming, but at the moment, if you want to take photos, you need to actually go into the camera settings, shooting mode, and select photo. It's a little bit cumbersome. I wish they mapped the button a little bit better. Let's take a 48 megapixel photo. And this small screen on the controller is super useful. I wish more companies would take inspiration from it, because many times you are traveling, you just want to be done with it quickly and enjoy the moment. This, you turn on, you fly, you come back, and it's done. It's gonna fit big fonts, no problem. But I feel like if you have a good eyesight, the small screen is gonna do just fine. And it's time for my final opinion on the Hover Air X1 Pro Max. I feel like this is the best selfie-centered drone I have seen so far, and I have tried them all. The original Hover Air X1, and this one beats it. Like hands down, much better camera, much better flight characteristics, the sensors, and it's still super small. I have tried the DJI Neo and the DJI Flip, and those ones, this one is much better than the Neo. The Neo does a lot of things, it can even do FPV, but it doesn't do anything really good. This one is a much better selfie drone and a much better regular drone. The only toss-up is with the DJI Flip, which is DJI's latest drone. They have a very comparable camera, same sensor. This one has a little bit bigger field of view. It can shoot 8K, the Flip cannot, but the Flip has a 3-axis gimbal. The Flip is way bigger, way noisier, and also the Hover Air has sensors at the back, which the Flip does not, and is kind of lazy by DJI's part. This drone is more durable than the Flip and better indoors. You also have the screen to cycle through the modes, to customize them. It's much quicker to use as a selfie drone. They are adding more modes, so you have tailored things like the cycling mode or the ski mode, and also the beacon to accompany those modes. And if the drone loses track of you, maybe you are skiing down a mountain, you don't have to go climb the mountain to go grab it. With the beacon, it knows where you are thanks to the GPS and comes back to you. This is very convenient for these kind of scenarios. And in my opinion, the Hover wins as a selfie drone. It doesn't win as a regular drone like a DJI Mini. The Flip is gonna be much closer to that. The control experience is gonna be much more refined. You can go further. The battery on the DJI Flip lasts 30 minutes instead of 16, so you have double the flight time if you wanna go for the distance. Talking about the hardware, I'm gonna say that 00 wins hands down. What they did is exemplary, and I wanna see more companies innovate like this. I feel like the drone itself is very mature and it has a ton of functions and everyone works very well. The app on the phone is perfect, but I feel like the beacon, despite it working very good, has a little bit of unexpressed potential. The transmission quality is fine, but it's not on par with DJI, and also not all of the buttons have been really mapped. And I feel like we need to press a button to take off without pressing the button on the drone, and also during the automated modes it will be really cool to press the buttons while it's flying and adjusting the modes. For example, if it's doing an orbit, I can press these two buttons and make the drone go further or go closer to myself and modify all of the automated functions mid-flight. For example, the follow I can change between far, close, and really it will be much more convenient to have this accessory. And the biggest con and probably the elephant in the room of this video is the price. It's the best selfie drone out there, but it's also the most expensive. And there are a few use cases where I would recommend this drone. First of all, if you have the budget and you want the best possible selfie drone to record memories and yourself, get this one. The second use case is if you are a content creator, a YouTuber, a vlogger, you review bicycles, scooters, or you do activities in the open. This one, again, it's a very small and portable device. It's like a third-person flying action camera rather than a drone. You press a button, it does its thing, and it comes back. And the third use case is for skiers and bikers. This drone is very optimized for those use cases. You have the beacon, and the drone is gonna always be in contact with you. You can even talk while you ski if you clip the beacon on your jacket, and it's just something the other companies are not offering. For future updates on this drone, I want to see sensors on the sides, so this drone can truly avoid obstacles all around, and then we will have the perfect selfie drone. Until then, as always, remember to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Let me know what do you think about this drone, what do you think about selfie drones, and what do you think about my opinion on it. If you want to buy something, check out the links in the description below, and many times you will find discounts down there. So, thank you so much, stay safe, and happy flying. Bye!